Physical violence against intimate partners. In this section, we will focus on the problem of physical aggression in intimate relationships. For the purposes of the present discussion, intimate partner violence is defined as the perpetration or threat of an act of physical violence by one partner towards the other in the context of an intimate relationship. This definition is open with regard to the sex of the perpetrator and the victim, and includes both heterosexual and same-sex relationships. Intimate partner violence is recognized as a serious problem worldwide, even though the prevalence rates vary widely, not only between, but also within countries. For reviews of the international evidence, see Archer 2006. Intimate partner violence, perpetration or threat of an act of physical or sexual violence within the context of an intimate relationship. Prevalence of physical violence against intimate partners. 3 main data sources provide information on the scale of intimate partner violence. Crime statistics showing the proportion of violent crime committed towards an intimate partner, figures from representative crime victimization surveys, and findings from research studies as summarized by Lasky et al. 2019. These sources portray divergent pictures of the involvement of men and women as victims and perpetrators of intimate partner violence, and have fueled an intense debate about the extent and direction of gender differences with respect to this form of aggressive behavior. Archer 2018. Official crime statistics and victimization surveys identify women as more vulnerable to intimate partner violence than men. For homicide, the most serious form of intimate partner violence, a recent international survey found that although women have a much lower probability of dying from homicide than men, 82% of all victims killed by an intimate partner in 2017 were female. For the U.S., an analysis of intimate partner violence incidents reported in the National Crime Victimization Survey from 2003 to 2012 showed that 76% of intimate partner violence acts were committed against females, compared with 24% against males. Truman and Morgan, 2014. Data from the National Intimate Partner and Sexual Violence Survey collected in 2015 showed that 32.2% of heterosexual women and 28.7% of heterosexual men reported physical violence by an intimate partner experienced at some point in their lifetime. But there was a clear gender difference in the adverse impact of the intimate partner violence experience, which was reported by 28.2% of the female and 10.2% of the male respondents, Walters et al. 2013. Findings from the most recent crime survey for England and Wales showed that in the year from April 2018 to March 2019, 2.8% of men and 5.6% of women between 16 and 74 years of age reported abuse by an intimate partner. For Germany, the official crime statistics for 2018 recorded 140,755 victims of intimate partner violence, of whom 81.3% were female. In addition to crime statistics and victimization surveys, a large body of research studies have investigated risk factors and consequences of intimate partner violence, many of which have used the conflict tactics scales in the original, Strauss 1979, or the revised form, Strauss et al. 1996. In this self-report measure, participants are presented with a list of minor and severe acts of physical aggression and asked to indicate whether and how many times they have shown the behavior in question towards an intimate partner. Parallel items are included to measure experiences of victimization by an intimate partner. In addition, a scale measuring injuries suffered by or inflicted on a partner is included. The items of the physical assault scale and the injury scale of the ch8 are shown in box 8.1. The physical assault scale is subdivided into 5 items that measure what is considered to be minor physical assault, items 1 to 5, and 7 items that measure severe physical assault, items 6 to 12. In addition to the items presented in box 8.1, the ch8 contains 3 further scales measuring psychological aggression, defined as communications intended to cause psychological pain to a partner, such as insults or verbal abuse, sexual aggression, and negotiation, as a non-aggressive form of conflict resolution in relationships. Strauss and Douglas, 2017. In a recent review, the ch8 was found to have good psychometric properties for the study of intimate partner violence in community samples, Chapman and Gillespie, 2019. A large body of evidence has shown that on the CTS, women report as much as or even more physical aggression towards a partner as men. A review including 62 empirical studies found that up to 2/3 of women had used some form of physical aggression towards a heterosexual partner, Williams et al., 2008. In a German study of young adults, all gender differences that were found on the items of the CTS2 were in the direction of women scoring higher than men on the perpetration of physical aggression by a partner, and men scoring higher than women on victimization by physical aggression from a partner, Craigie and Berger, 2005. In a meta-analysis including 82 studies using either the original CTS or the revised CTS2, presented in Box 8.1, Archer 2000 found that women were slightly more likely than men to show physical aggression towards a partner, D equals negative 0.05, that's a small effect size. A subsequent meta-analysis by Archer 2002 on the individual items of the CTS also revealed significant gender differences on 7 out of 9 items, but in different directions. Women were more likely than men to throw something at their partner, to slap, kick, bite, or punch them, or to hit them with an object. On the other hand, men were more likely than women to push, grab, or shove, beat up, choke, or strangle a partner. No differences were found for using a knife or gun, and the higher rate of women who had threatened to use a knife or gun disappeared once outliers, studies with extreme values, were removed. Box 8.1, items of the physical assault scale and the injury scale of the revised conflict tactics scale. Instruction: no matter how well a couple gets along, there are times when they disagree, get annoyed with the other person, want different things from each other, or just have spats or fights because they are in a bad mood, are tired, or for some other reason. Couples also have many different ways to settle their differences. This is a list of things that might happen when you have differences. Please indicate how many times you did each of the things in the past year. How often did this happen? So it's a scale from 1 to 6, 1 being once in the past year, 6 being more than 20 times in the past year, B meaning not in the past year but happened before, and N being this has never happened. Okay, so the list of items are: I threw something at my partner that could hurt. I twisted my partner's arm or hair. I pushed or shoved my partner. I grabbed my partner. I slapped my partner. I used a knife or gun on my partner. I punched or hit my partner with something that could hurt. I choked my partner. I slammed my partner against a wall. I beat up my partner. I burned or scalded my partner on purpose. I kicked my partner. My partner had a sprain, bruise, or small cut because of a fight with me. My partner still felt physical pain the next day because of a fight we had. My partner passed out from being hit on the head in a fight with me. My partner went to a doctor because of a fight with me. My partner needed to see a doctor because of a fight with me, but didn't. My partner had a broken bone from a fight with me. Note: items 1 to 5 describe behaviors classified by Strauss et al. As minor physical assault, items 6 to 12 represent severe physical assault, and items 13 to 18 form the injury scale. At the same time, there is little doubt that men's aggression towards an intimate partner leads to more dangerous consequences. The effect sizes obtained by Archer 2000 for the injury subscale revealed that men were significantly more likely to inflict injury on their partner, with an effect size of D equals 0.15. This finding may explain why men feature more prominently as perpetrators of intimate partner violence in crime statistics. If their actions are more likely to lead to injuries, there is an increased likelihood that they will be reported to the police and find their way into official records. Unsurprisingly, the claim derived from the CTS studies that women are at least as involved as men in the perpetration of intimate partner violence has proved highly controversial. Not only is it at odds with data from the crime statistics and victimization surveys, it also contradicts notions of femininity and masculinity that are firmly ingrained in gender stereotypes. Redman and Glick, 2008. Critics have argued that the overrepresentation of women as perpetrators of intimate partner violence in studies using the CTS is distorted because their instrument records acts of violence without considering their context. In particular, it does not consider whether the behavior shown is an act of unprovoked aggression or a response to a previous attack, so that an act of self-defense by a woman would be counted in the same way as the initial assault by her male partner. In support of this claim, a study by Lerner and Allen, 2014, found that women tended to report engaging in more acts of intimate partner violence toward an intimate partner on the CTS than in semi-structured interviews. One reason for the discrepancy was that the behaviors presented in the CTS may be endorsed even when they were shown in a playful way, rather than with the intention to cause physical harm. It is now widely acknowledged by researchers that intimate partner violence is not a unitary phenomenon, but comprises different forms, contexts, and underlying dynamics. Kelly and Johnson, 2008, distinguished three types of intimate partner violence, which differ in terms of the involvement of men and women as perpetrators and victims. The first type is called coercive controlling violence, or intimate terrorism, involving emotionally abusive intimidation and physical violence. It is a stable relationship feature and is more often shown by men than by women. The second type is called violent resistance, occurs in self-defense to a coercive controlling partner, and is more often shown by women than by men. The third and most common type is called situational couple violence, arising ad hoc from everyday conflict situations rather than being a stable pattern in a relationship. This form of intimate violence is shown equally by men and women. If progress is to be made in understanding the role of gender in violence between heterosexual partners, greater attention needs to be paid to the specific forms and contexts in which assaults on intimate partners take place. Fries, 2000. The problem of intimate partner violence in same-sex relationships has received far less attention. Reviews have demonstrated substantial levels of intimate partner violence among gay and lesbian couples. Bedines Ribera, et al., 2015. Comparing physical violence in same-sex relationships with findings from studies of heterosexual couples, the available evidence suggests that the prevalence rates are similar. For a review, see Messenger, 2011. Evidence comparing same-sex and heterosexual couples within the same study has yielded mixed results. Blaznik and Bussart, 2009, analyzed data from a representative sample in the U.S. and found no differences between same-sex and heterosexual partner constellations in the rates of physical violence. By contrast, data from a representative victimization survey, the National Violence Against Women Survey, Messenger, 2011, showed that rates of victimization of women were higher in same-sex relationships, 25%, than in heterosexual relationships, 21%. Men were substantially more often victimized by another man in a homosexual relationship, 33%, than by a woman in a heterosexual relationship, 7.5%. The National Intimate Partner and Sexual Violence Survey, conducted in 2010, also yielded higher lifetime prevalence rates of women's experience of physical violence from an intimate partner for lesbian women, 40.4%, and bisexual women, 56.9%, compared with heterosexual women, 32.2%. Walters et al., 2013. Among men, the rates for gay men, 25.2%, and heterosexual men, 28.7%, were similar, but bisexual men reported physical violence from an intimate partner at a higher rate, 37.3%. The comprehensive review by Bermia et al., 2018, confirmed the increased rate of intimate partner violence victimization among bisexual women. Overall, it has become clear that physical aggression is a major problem in intimate relationships, although the question of the gender distribution of aggressors and victims has not been resolved conclusively. The controversy surrounding the use of the conflict tactics scales as a measure of intimate partner violence has highlighted the need to consider not only the aggressive acts per se, but also the context in which they occur. This includes differences in physical strength related to differences in the potential to cause serious harm and the proactive or reactive nature of the aggressive behavior. In terms of the scale of intimate partner violence, a large body of evidence has been accumulated in recent years from a wide range of countries around the world. In fact, one could say that the study of intimate partner violence is the only area of aggression research for which empirical studies are available from a wide range of countries that are not typically represented in mainstream psychological research. Crahy and Berger, 2005. Factors associated with an increased probability of engaging in or experiencing intimate partner violence. In the search for variables associated with an increased probability of engaging in or experiencing violence towards intimate partners, individual, situational, and relationship variables have been examined to find out who is susceptible to behaving violently towards an intimate partner and or vulnerable to experience victimization. What situational conditions increase the likelihood of intimate partner violence, and what characterizes relationships that are at risk for intimate partner violence? Among individual level variables, particular attention has been paid to the socio-demographic and personal characteristics of men who abuse their female partners. Demographic characteristics such as lower age, education, and income were linked to higher odds of intimate partner violence perpetration in the meta-analysis by Mallory et al. 2016. The meta-analysis of risk factors for physical partner violence by Spencer et al. 2019 that included 207 studies found significant associations of both perpetration and victimization with several indicators of mental health. Their findings, presented in Table 8.4, show that depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, borderline personality disorder, and antisocial personality disorder were significantly associated with both perpetration and victimization for men and women. The strength of the association was not significantly different in the two gender groups, with one exception. The link between intimate partner violence, victimization, and depression was significantly stronger for women than for men. However, the data are correlational and cannot clarify whether the associations are risk factors or outcomes of intimate partner violence perpetration and, in particular, victimization. Comparing a comprehensive list of 60 risk markers, that is, variables associated with a higher probability of intimate partner violence perpetration, the review by Spencer et al. 2016 found that no more than 3 variables showed a stronger link with intimate partner violence perpetration for one gender group than the other, all in the direction of a higher correlation for men: alcohol use, witnessing family aggression or experiencing physical abuse as a child, and the demand-withdrawal pattern of attachment style. Bonacci et al. 2019. Focusing on vulnerability factors of women's intimate partner violence victimization, a meta-analysis of 35 prospective longitudinal studies by Yakubovich et al. 2018 found that low socioeconomic status, an unplanned pregnancy, and a history of prior victimization predicted greater odds of victimization, whereas higher age predicted a lower likelihood of victimization. In addition to considering individual risk factors for intimate partner violence, several authors have proposed distinctions between different types of men who commit acts of intimate partner violence against their female partners, characterized by different risk factors and patterns of aggressive behavior. An influential typology was developed by Holdsworth, Monroe, and Stewart, 1994, who distinguished between 3 types of male intimate partner violence perpetrators on the basis of 3 dimensions: severity of violence, generality of violence beyond the intimate relationship, and evidence of psychopathology. Table 8.4, Mental Health Correlates of Intimate Partner Violence Perpetration and Victimization in Men and Women. Okay, so you have the correlate, and then you have men and women, and you have listed the effect sizes and the mean R. It's basically showing that these mental health issues like depression, anxiety, PTSD, antisocial personality disorder, and borderline personality disorder increase the rate of both perpetration and victimization from an intimate partner or toward an intimate partner in both men and women. The R values are generally about 0.17 to about 0.31, and the effect sizes can be pretty small, from about 4 to about 50. But yeah, the outlier is that women who are depressed there's a huge effect size, and the likelihood that they will be victimized, 85.